Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Partners in Health and Biz with your host, Gail Dixon. Tune in every Saturday, 9 a.m. for great shows about obtaining and maintaining health, business, and finance. Learn from the experts here at pihradio.net. And now, broadcasting from the Partners in Health and Biz studio, here's Gail.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to Partners in Health and Biz. We are broadcasting live from our Columbia, Maryland studio this morning, and this is a wonderful, fantastic day. The sun is shining, and the weather forecast has changed. I really don't see any rain in the forecast until possibly, and that's a very low percentage, only 30% chance of rain around 7 p.m. today. So I don't know where you are calling in to listen from, anywhere in the United States, because this is internet radio. But if you are a first-time listener, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy you could join us, and please continue to listen to the show. In fact, if you enjoy the show and the information that is provided, please follow us on www.pihradio.net, and also just tune in to the website, or go to the website, I should say. We have two websites. The other one is partnersinhealth.biz, partners with an S, NIN health.biz, where you can find out about a lot of upcoming events and different health and wellness information. So just be aware of that. So today's show, I'm sure you've been to the website, Finding Seafood You Can Feel Good About. Wow. This is a lot of my listeners, as well as, of course, myself. I do eat a lot of seafood, and seafood is good, but there are some upsides to eating seafood and some downsides to eating seafood. So this morning's show, we are going to talk about them all. And we're going to discuss, I guess, about, let me see, I'm not sure, I think about 8 different types of seafood, maybe more, but we will discuss shrimp, fresh salmon, canned tuna fish. We're going to discuss tilapia, pollock, mussels. We are going to discuss farmed barramundi, or sea bass to some. We're going to discuss canned salmon, Atlantic mackerel, and rainbow trout, if we have time to get through all of those. So let's get into this show right now. But before I do, let me give out the call-in number to Partners in Health and Biz in case you have a question or comment. We'd love to hear from you this morning. The call-in number is 347-945-7433, 347-945-7433. You want to press 1 if you have a question or a comment, and you don't have to do anything if you just want to continue to listen to the show. So right now, if you can, you may want to text some of your friends and let them know that we are actually right now broadcasting live. And I want to, as we're speaking, send out, I'm trying to send out an announcement to let folks know that we are live. So anyway, send out that text for me to any of your friends to let them know that we are broadcasting live and that they can tune in now. Okay, I'm sending out the message. Here we go. Tune in now. All right. It's the beauty of internet radio, I tell you. So, the American Heart Association recommends that adults eat at least 3 to 5 ounce servings of seafood a week, while the FDA recommends even more for women of childbearing age. So, this show, again, we're going to be discussing the upsides and downsides of eating various types of fish. And I also want to throw in those sardines, because a lot of you like sardines, so we'll talk about the sardines too. So let's just talk about what's going on in the world. The world's oceans lakes, and rivers, they offer a cornucopia of fish, mollusks, and crustaceans. Yet concerns about industrial pollution as well as ethical questions surrounding farming and fishing practices abound for many seafood lovers. Yes, we want to know what's going on with this seafood. So, we're all faced with confusing options. You might wonder whether it's even possible to make a good seafood choice. We want to make a choice that is nutritious and safe, as well as environmentally responsible. It is possible. In fact, many experts say that the benefits of seafood can outweigh the risk because we've heard about the mercury in the water and in the fish. It's a matter of learning which fish to catch and which fish to release. So, the title actually of this show is called The Great Catch. The Great Catch. Finding seafood you can feel good about eating is a challenge, but we're going to guide you with some and help you make healthier choices that are more sustainable. So let's talk about again what the American Heart Association has recommended. We just discussed that. So seafood is an excellent source of protein, which helps the body lean helps the to build lean body mass. Seafood has selenium. It's an antioxidant that fends off cell damaging free radicals, phosphorus to maintain strong bones, and iodine, which is a key ingredient in thyroid hormones involved in a healthy metabolism. And that's why it's recommended that if you don't eat fish, that you take supplements. One that is highly recommended is the omega 3, 6, and 9. Some of you are taking the omega 3 supplements, which that's what the fish is high in omega 3. Seafood also provides fatty acids, again, here we go, as the omega 3, which is a fatty acid. Increased consumption of EPA and DHA marine derived omega 3s that are more potent than plant derived ALA, alpha linolenic acid, is associated with improved heart health and brain functioning, reduced risk of hearing loss, and optimum infant development. So, this is why we eat fish or take our omega 3 supplements. Omega 3s work their way into cell membranes in all our bodily tissues. And this is according to Penny Chris Etherton. She is a PhD, RD, a professor of nutrition at Penn State. This makes cell membranes more fluid, she said, which allows chemical reactions like those involved in regulating heart rate and reducing inflammation to happen more freely and quickly. But troubling reports about seafood safely lead many people to limit their intake. And again, we did mention this a few minutes ago. Mercury and dioxins from industrial sources that make their way into the lakes and oceans are absorbed by sea creatures and stored in their muscles. So we have to be careful. Some fish contain high levels enough to pose serious risk to brain and nervous system development in unborn babies and young children. So if you're pregnant or you definitely want not you and if you have young children, you want to be aware of this information. So high exposure to mercury is also associated with neurological problems in adults and an increased risk of diabetes. Did you know that? I did not. So now we're all learning things together this morning. High exposure to mercury, which is found in fish, is also associated with neurological problems in adults and an increased risk of diabetes. So, sustainability issues further damage seafood's reputation. Some species are dwindling under harvesting pressures and techniques like bottom trawling. So that's where your seafood, the shrimp, come in. Think clearly. The sea floor. Are these the fish that are eating the debris from the floor of the sea? Meanwhile, fish farms have earned notoriety, sometimes unjustly, as polluting disease spreading ocean feedlots. So, to make the best choice, it's important to strike the right balance. So, that's what we want to do. That's what we're here to help you do this morning. So, our guide offers useful information about first rate sources for your seafood favorites and explores some lesser known options that hit the trifecta of nutrition, safety, and sustainability. So let's just jump right in. Let's talk about shrimp. How many of you love shrimp? I know my mother, she eats shrimp. Every time we go out to a seafood restaurant, we already know what she's going to order, so we don't even have to ask. So these seafood choices that we'll be discussing uh, this morning are some of the most popular in the United States, but they have their downsides. So we're going to learn how to be an informed consumer this morning. So shrimp. Americans eat about 4 pounds of this shellfish per person annually. By finding a good source, you can net plenty of health benefits, including omega 3s, selenium, and 30% of your daily requirement of vitamin D. So, buyer beware. Most shrimp in the United States comes from Asian farms that may overuse antibiotics and employ forced labor. This is according to Ryan Bigelow, Programming Engagement Manager of Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. This is an international wild shrimp fisheries, they say. International wild shrimp fisheries typically have high bycatch levels, nabbing bystander species like endangered sea turtles. From a nutrition standpoint, know that shrimp is often bathed in a sodium solution to make its meat juicier, while sulfites, which may trigger migraines and other symptoms in people with sensitivities, are often used to prevent discoloration. So if you eat shrimp a lot, or if you've been eating shrimp and you notice that after eating shrimp you have a migraine headache, and this happens quite often, then it could be because the shrimp has been bathed in these sulfates or sulfites, I should say. And some people are more sensitive than others. So, what's a smart choice when it comes to shrimp? Opt for domestic shrimp when possible. There are generally much stricter regulations in America with respect to shrimp fishing and farming practices, according to Mr. Bigelow. North American wild caught varieties include northern shrimp, pink shrimp, and spot prawns from the Pacific Northwest of British Columbia. White shrimp farmed in the United States, Canada, and Central America, especially from closed tanks that create less pollution, is another option. The closed tanks. All right, so let's move on to another popular fish, and that's one of my favorites, fresh salmon. Now, all varieties of fresh salmon, including farmed Atlantic and wild sockeye, provide more than the recommended 250 to 500 milligram daily dose of omega 3s. And according to the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, salmon has among the best ratios of omega 3s to mercury of any seafood you can buy. Wow. So that's important to know, right? When you're deciding which fish is the healthiest. But buyer beware. Salmon farming practices have improved, but antibiotic use is still concerned, says Roxanne Naniga, a sustainable seafood specialist with the Environmental Defense Fund. Salmon raised on fish meal come with higher economic and environmental costs. A single pound of farmed salmon requires multiple pounds of wild feed. Meanwhile, less expensive vegetarian based feed increases salmon's ratio of